All right, great, thanks for this opportunity. I am in the traditional toy business, like Kathleen and Fisher-Price. ThinkFun's been around since 1985. We make logic, puzzles, thinking games, that kind of thing. One of our most popular games is Rush Hour. Probably many of you have seen it. For those of you who have younger kids, Zingo, it's a great preschool game. And this summer we came out with our logic puzzle, Solitaire Chess. So just to give you a sense, we have one app that's up in the App Store, the Rush Hour game, which is doing well. The idea is that you're trying to get the red car out the exit gate, and you have to move the other cars out of the way. Many of you probably know this. Some of you probably have some of the knockoffs. We've been fighting them, but that's good. So Solitaire Chess is the new game. It's out in toy stores now. You can buy it, and we're trying to come out with it as an app. As quick background to it, I'm very interested in thinking skills, thinking strategies, that kind of thing. And chess, of course, is the granddaddy of thinking strategy games. The good thing about chess is that it's so amazing, and everybody knows it, and everybody associates it with, high-level thinking strategy. The problem with chess is that it takes a long time, it's complicated, it takes two people, and everything like that. So the question that we had was, can we come up with a simple logic puzzle based on the rules of chess that actually is fun and that works? And the concept that we had for this, working with inventor Bledsoe, was to combine the rules of chess and pig solitaire, make a logic puzzle using chess. So it's not out yet, but it's in sort of high development, and we're looking for final feedback and to see if it's good. So the idea here is that the pieces move like chess pieces, and every move has to be a capture. And what you're trying to do is leave the board with only one piece left. Okay? So this is challenge one, and the way the pawns move is diagonally up, so you can move this pawn here. And you move. Okay? So here's challenge two. Anybody want to help me with this one?
Rook takes the queen. Rook takes queen.
The rook takes the queen.
The rook takes bishop.
Rook takes the bishop. And there you go. So just to give you a sense of, let's go and try, how about 23? So this gets a little harder. And it may be that some of you don't know the rules of chess or aren't quite clear about it. So we're developing a thing where you can press down on your finger. Oops, what?
It shows where you can go.
And it shows you what the chess moves are. The update that we've got coming soon is it's also going to name the piece. So that'll be good. There's that. So with this one, we would move the rook down. Okay? And as it goes on, it gets harder. You get into the 50s, I'll just do one more. And say, get into the 50s and you get 5 pieces. When you go to medium, you get 6 pieces, and it goes on up. So 400 challenges, beginner to expert. Let's try this one, and then I'll look for some questions. Bishop takes knight? Oh, sorry. Reset? Bishop takes... Right, up and down. So the key to this game, the sort of underlying thing, is getting really cool challenges, and we're very happy to have worked with an inventor. We've got great, very clever challenges.
You know what I would like is if I get really frustrated, can I shake it and just knock all the pieces off?
That's in the next version. The specific questions I have are sort of, we talk about when you're dealing with young kids, they're just ready to go. They don't want too many instructions. When you're dealing with adults, they're afraid and they don't really know. We think of our games as being for older kids and adults. Like if you're 8 years old and you like this kind of stuff, you can go at it. We think of a psychographic rather than a demographic, and that means if you like puzzles, no matter what your age. So it's crossing between kids who are going to go right at it and adults who aren't. And so it's sort of the question is, how much instruction do we give before we get people started? That's the question that I have. And then I have one thing that I just want to comment about. In the About section, the game was programmed by my son, Sam, who was here for a little while. A couple of you met him last night. So right now we have game design by Amanda Turner, programming by Sam Ritchie, invented by Bledsoe. The next thing we do before we do is the music credit. So it's going to be programming by Sam Ritchie, Music by Wolfgang Mozart. Nice things. I'll take lasers.
You want the lasers?
Well, I mean, if anybody has any, if I have time, any question, any comments about how much instruction we should put in the game, how to do that? Yes?
None.
None?
I'm serious.
I would say leave one piece on the board. Leave it at that.
The only time I think you should do instruction is if you're introducing a new gesture in the way the app. In other words, you're doing, whenever you deviate from the human interface guidelines that we wrote for these platforms, what is harder for people to grasp is if it's some kind of motion or some kind of custom gesture that you don't know, right? You just don't know that's how you should do it, right? You know, we understand swipe, pin, zoom, stuff like that. In which case, we found that the best way to communicate that is maybe have like a little mini video.
Mini video.
Yeah, so for example, if you look on a Mac OS, whenever you introduce the 4-finger swipe, 2-finger swipe, you go into settings, and you check that button, you have like a little section to show you a little video so that you can kind of see. And again, because we really like, I mean, if you look at our most complex products we have on our platform, there are no instructions, right? If you look at our iWork product set that's been designed for the iPad, there are no instructions. And so what did we do, right? We show video, we actually have videos online, stuff like that, so people can visually see and understand it. But we really intended for you not to have to read. Because part of the challenge you have in reading is you've got your full screen, usually it's an immersive experience, you've got a full screen, so unless you kind of go, move that out of the way, read these instructions, then go back and then actually practice or try it, then it gets kind of a little confusing. And this is even what I do with even more complex I work with some business solutions, like imagine trying to control your Windows desktop from your iPad. So some of these guys create some actually very clever product that allow you to actually control left, right click on your iPad, which is a single touch point type thing. And all those guys have really been able to show you or teach you without any instructions. So in my mind, that's the highest level to go for, is not to have any instructions. Now, it's not easy. It definitely takes a lot of creativity. But those are the best apps that we find.
And you just instructed him on it, didn't you? And that's awesome.
But it wasn't written.
But I'm just saying that's what we
Okay.
that's what we tell people.
So we're close.
Yeah.
All right. Sure. Yes?
I totally agree about that being the highest, and yet I have trouble keeping it later with just general. I'd like there to be a blog where people could talk about strategy kind of briefly. So I don't want to go into totally narrative. If you could go even.
Within the app or?
No, I wouldn't put it in the app. I think that's right. It's not an app kind of thing. But in blogs,
But
you
have like-
have people, you know,
Okay.
I love the brilliance that came up with new products. It's the people come up with kind of cool things.
Right.
So,
Great. Thank you. Yes?
I've come across some where they had the instruction built into the play, like Super Monkey Ball has a lot of as you go instruction, and because it becomes more and more complex as you get deeper and deeper and deeper, and they get you started, but that first move that they essentially just say, hey, move X to Y,
Do this.
unlocks a piece of knowledge.
Right.
And I mean, and there's no instruction. There's a great game on Congregate called Kaboom, and they introduce you essentially shoot things at objects, but they introduce new physics with each object that you're shooting. And the first one sort of, I think it's what is missing from Angry Birds, actually.
Yes,
I wish there would be more of that in Angry Birds.
Right. Thanks.
So lasers?
Sure.
You know, you can vote too if you'd like.
Good. Okay.
All right, good job. That's awesome.